Good morning from Okoboji. I'm Kirk Stoss with Stoss Realty here in Okoboji. Another beautiful day at the lakes. Today, we would like to have a discussion with Sheila Zolman of Central Bank. And one of the things that comes up all the time with home ownership and buying and selling a home is credit scores. And it has become, I think, a bigger and bigger thing and a point of discussion. So I'm going to turn it over to Sheila and let her, again, introduce herself and tell us what she, from a banker standpoint and a real estate standpoint, that credit score thing really is. Sheila, tell us about it.
Excellent. Thank you, Kirk. Credit scores really can be a very confusing topic. Most people do know that by having a good credit score, your chances of being qualified for a mortgage loan are better. But how do you develop a credit score, and what goes into getting a higher credit score? That's what we're going to kind of talk about here real quick. So credit scores basically run from 300 all the way up to 850. So when we pull a credit score after we receive an application, we pull from all three major credit bureaus, and we get a score from each bureau. So we will use the middle score from the three that are pulled. If there are two borrowers on an application, we will use the lower of the three scores. So basically, the best time to really get the process started is early. You can't start too early. So if you think you might be buying a home within the next year, start now. Talk with your mortgage professional and review your credit information just to make sure that if there's something out there that needs to be addressed, that you have time to do that. Because fixing your credit is not a quick process. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get those credit scores up to where you prefer them to be. Basically, credit scores to be approved for a mortgage, in general, mortgage loans require a 620 credit score. A 740 is considered excellent and will get you a very good interest rate and a lot of mortgage options. Now I want to talk about some things that you can do to help increase your score. If maybe your score isn't quite where you want it to be, there are some things that you can do. One important thing is every year to request a free copy of your credit report from all three credit bureaus. You can do that online at annualcreditreport.com. That way you can keep track of what your credit is doing, make sure that all of your loans are reporting correctly. If there are any items that are not being reported correctly, you can request those be fixed, and that could potentially increase your credit score. A big one, pay all of your loans on time. A big thing is, even you might not think it's a big deal, but even if you pay a loan 30 days past its due date, that could drop your credit score 100 points or more. So it's very, very important to make all of your monthly payments on time. Use credit wisely. Don't charge a lot on credit cards, and of course, pay everything on time. Utilization is a big thing with credit cards. So it's recommended that you use 10% or less of your available balance on a credit card. So for instance, if you have a balance of $1,000, that means you should only use $100 worth of that balance. This will help your score to increase more dramatically. So as opposed to using, say, 80 to 100% of your balance, if you use a lesser amount, that will increase your credit.
Sheila, quick question. If, for instance, you have let's just say 1,000, and maybe you want to buy something for $200 or $400, but then you still pay off at the when they say here's your statement and all that, does that still affect though, even though you did go that high and pay it at the end?
Not as much as if you would carry that balance over a long term.
Okay.
So the best way is to charge something and pay it off on a monthly basis. That way you're getting credit for making that monthly payment every month on time, and you're not paying interest to the credit card
Okay,
company for the balance that you're using. So it's kind of a win-win. So charge it and pay it off. Another big thing is if you do have some high credit card balances, try to pay those down. And again, with the utilization, so if you get those paid down or paid off, that will really help to increase your score. If you do pay the credit cards off, it's recommended that you do not close the accounts. So if you close the account, that will reduce the amount that you have available, which could decrease your credit score,
Okay.
which is kind of crazy. So utilizing those credit cards, I never recommend anyone use a credit card to buy frivolous things. Only charge what you would normally purchase anyway on a regular basis. And you know, once you pay those cards off, do continue to use them because they do have, you know, rewards as far as your credit. So if you would pay off all of your debt and not use it anymore, it's possible that over time your credit score could just drop off. It could be deleted off your account. So it's important that you do continue to use credit on a regular basis to keep those credit scores.
One more on that same vein, kind of reverse that. If you have, say, a credit limit of 2,000 and you request to go to, say, 3,000, does that affect your credit score? Sometimes, does it, or?
It can initially.
Okay.
Initially, just because they're kind of checking your credit to make
Okay.
sure that it's okay to bump that up. Over the long run, though, increasing that available credit could work to your advantage.
Okay.
The main thing is know your credit score. Knowing that score is really the first step in getting you qualified for a home loan. And again, it's never too early to get started. So get started now with a mortgage professional, and that will just get you one step closer to buying the home that you've been dreaming about.
Oh, that sounds terrific. Good. Sheila, thank you so much. It's a topic everybody runs into at any level at every time. So thank you so much for all your help.
Very welcome.
Thank you all. Take care, be safe, and have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon.